Game face. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 5, Season 2 of You're Having a Draft, your favourite Friday morning podcast. It's a pleasure to be back in your ears. We have Mr. Neil King with us on the opposite side of the table for his first ever guest appearance. Yes. Neil, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How you doing? Good week?
Week's been all right. It's a Monday, so it's only just started. But last week was fine. Ended very well with the Arsenal 3-1 win against Liverpool. Hence the Arsenal shirt. I thought I'd wear it just for your presence.
Got to take the little wins, don't you?
Yeah, so. I have got to take the little wins, and we'll take 4 points against Liverpool this year because it doesn't happen very often. So for us, that's a big thing. Yeah, how is it being on the other side of the podcast, being on the pod instead of just listening to the pod?
It's good. It's nice. Something different. Obviously, I listen every Friday, drive to work, and it's good to see how it goes, how it's set up, and it's nice. Yeah, it's different. I think when I'm listening to myself on Friday, I might not like it as much, but
it's weird the first time. I'll pre-warn you. It's weird the first time you listen to yourself back.
I think I've got some macho voice when I definitely don't.
Just listening back. Hello, it's good to be here. What do you think of the episode last week?
I think I've got big shoes to follow. Last week's episode was, I think, really important for a lot of people, but not a lot of people feel confident and comfortable enough to admit it. Yeah. And the way that yourself and the way that Stride spoke so openly about things that have gone on, I think the word I'm going to use is impactful, because a lot of people probably can understand, and it opens their eyes to things more so than just thinking about it, than actually putting 2 and 2 together and understanding it a bit better.
Yeah, no, it was thank you, it means a lot. It was very weird to talk about. I think from my point of view, Stride is fantastic at talking about all of that stuff, and he's had talking therapy, and he spoke about it a lot before. So he's fantastic. You could tell by the way he was kind of responding to me talking about my stuff that he's very, very good. So for that, Stride, like, hats off to you, mate. I absolutely fucking love you, and very proud of what you're going through and stuff, and what you've been through. But yeah, he's very, very good. And for me, I think it was very different, because other than Soph, there's not many people that know that story behind that fit behind me, because I'm quite like a positive, quite a energetic guy and stuff like that. And it's always them kind of people that you don't assume to have something going on, right? And it was hard to talk about. It was very hard to listen to, or very weird to listen to when I listened to it back and edited it. But yeah, it was good, and a lot of people have said it's been a very good episode. Yeah. So very, very happy with how that's gone.
Definitely.
And the response we've had. So thank you guys to everyone that's listened to it, everyone that's commented, given feedback. Sent your love. We really, really appreciate it. So without further ado, today we are doing Premier League era greatest goals of all time. Yeah, it's a good episode.
It is.
It's going to be a very good episode. The research going into it, seeing all these goals, it was fantastic. It was just great. It was like research you love.
You forget, like, we've grown up watching football since we were this big.
Yeah.
And you forget some of the goals that have come and gone, and when some of them that come up, some people might not even remember them.
Yeah.
And you see them and you think, that is a goal. That's a goal and a half. Like, that is a top goal.
Yeah, how's he pulled that one off?
But yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Good. Well, as you all know, as you are a regular listener, you know what the first topic is.
2 for Tuesday.
2 for Tuesday. What have you got for us? What fire are you bringing?
I've gone down a slightly different route than what you normally have.
Okay.
And I like a bit of old school garage music.
Ooh,
and I was a big fan of Craig David's when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Still am now.
Oh, of course.
And he's on a new song that's come out called Abracadabra.
Okay.
And yeah, it's not the usual type of music you guys have for it, but just something a bit different.
Mix it up. Get funky with it.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a good feel-good song.
Like it. Any Craig David song is a feel-good song, isn't it? It's so good.
You always know it's going to have that same sort of like garage beat in the back as
well.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
What have you gone for?
Good pick. I've gone for Body Moving, Eliza Rose and Calvin Harris, but I'm going to go with the Riordan remix of it. So the actual original song's a banger by itself, but the Riordan remix is more a bit more dancey. It's one of those, if that Friday feeling was a song, this would be it. It makes you want to get up, dance. Toe tapper, shoulder rocker. I feel like it's the perfect running song.
Yeah.
Like, it's the perfect running song. So any of you runners, I know a lot of you that listen to this pod run, bang this on your playlist. Let me know. Put in the comments it's going to be a PB. Let me know your PB. I'm not even going to say tell me if it was a PB. It's going to be a PB with this song, okay? So follow on Spotify. We've got the playlist on there, 2 for Tuesdays. It's in our link tree. Make sure you follow him, and let's get on with the rest of it. So
do you want to gloat now, or do you want to gloat later?
I don't want to gloat. I don't want to gloat. Look, we're humble in defeat, humble in victory. Humble in defeat, humble in victory. Did I enjoy the win? Absolutely. I think we played phenomenal. And for the listeners' point of view, Neil's a Liverpool fan. Yeah. I'm obviously an Arsenal fan, hence the Arsenal shirt. But yesterday was the game between us. 3-1 Arsenal. Yeah. I think everyone can agree. I watched it with Ben and Stu as well, 2 Liverpool fans, and both of them just said you outplayed us.
Yep. Arsenal, the high press was so good.
It was Liverpool. It was peak Liverpool press, wasn't it?
It was like Liverpool
a few years
2019,
yeah,
when we just blew every team away and didn't even let them get out. And that's what you did to us. And even if we'd had a full strength team, I think we would have lined up slightly differently from a midfield point of view. But we still would have had to play unbelievably well to break the press, to break the way that you set the team up.
Yeah, agreed, right? And injuries are part of football, and that's part of the parcel. And everyone always says, what if Salah was fit? What if someone else was fit? But at the same time, you then look it back, and what if Jesus was fit? What if Partey was fit? The thing that, I guess it put us back into the title talk. I think if we had lost that game, if Arsenal had lost, we would have been, I think people would have wrote us off. 8 points behind is a lot to make up.
It's a 6-point game.
It's going to be an interesting one, because I think you've got 3 teams, but I also think you've got 3 teams who are yo-yoing with performances. I think City, Arsenal, and Liverpool, you'd all probably argue from a fan's perspective, we're close to the top, but we have played not very well for the season. Arsenal definitely haven't. No. I think you'd argue Liverpool probably haven't, although probably one of the most informed teams at the moment.
But City, this is normally when they just go unbeaten for the
They're
rest
going
of
to
the
go on
season.
a run. They always go on a run, and it makes
year.
me sick every fucking year when they do it. But you need like a 10, 12 point gap on City to hold them off, because they just become invincible. They just, you can't stop them. So
I think it's still in City's hands, personally.
100%. It always is in City's hand.
I think, maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm not. I think out of the 2, I think Liverpool are the ones that could stop them.
I agree.
Just on the last probably 5-6 years, we've been the only ones that have pushed. They had to win the league with 100 points.
Yeah, I agree.
Beat us.
Completely agree.
And I think where we've got a lot of what you'd call winners in the team from doing that, that's the only thing I think Arsenal slightly lack at the moment.
Completely agree. Liverpool have the experience to push teams that far, whereas Arsenal, in terms of a title contender, are the new kids on the block, essentially, right? We went for it last year. Our squad was incredibly thin.
Yeah.
We lost Saliba, one of the best defenders in the world, and we had Rob Holding come in. It says it all. You can't play 14, 15 games of a season with Rob Holding as your centre-back and win the league. It's just not happening.
He's one of those players that he's going to do a gap for a game or 2, but you can't have him long term.
No.
When you've got players like Saliba out injured.
Yeah, I'll die on this hill that if Saliba was fit for the tail end of last year, we win the league, and I'll die on that hill. I don't care what anyone says. We would have held on, because you look at some of them games defensively, how poor it was and how many mistakes. He's not going to make those mistakes. But as I said earlier, injuries are part of the game.
Yep.
You can't avoid them. Saliba got injured, and we didn't have the depth for it. So hopefully. Yeah. I still don't think we've got the minerals to get there this year. I think we've played poorly to get the points that we have. So, but you'd argue that's what a winning team does. Title winning team, right? Or a winning team, you grind out games when you're not playing well. So the fact we're in the running, playing this badly is quite a feat, really.
How many years did we watch Man United win the league and arguably not play well?
Yeah,
they'd grind 1-0s, 2-1s here and there to win games, which. It's what a league winner's going to do. I mean, City blow teams away at the moment. Yeah. But let's just pray Brentford hold on for today.
Let's hope so, and hopefully they don't. Let's see if Brentford beat City. Let's see how they celebrate as well, because the whole fucking internet and pundits yesterday with Arsenal celebrations, it's just infuriating how poor the punditry is in this country, to the fact where instead of talking about the tactics, instead of talking about Arsenal's world-class press, instead of talking about Rice and Jorginho just controlling that midfield, cutting out the passing lanes, just basically 0 shots on target for Liverpool, or 1 shot on target, there's no talk about that and the tactics and Arteta's strategy to do it. All the talk was about was Odegaard celebrating with the fans and celebrating with the photographer who's been with Arsenal for 20 years, who has seen Liverpool constantly paced us, mate. 5-1, 5-0, constantly, over and over again. He has seen that, and now he's seen us walk away with 4 points from Liverpool with a very, very dominant performance. Let the guys celebrate. And Arteta as well, running down the sideline. How many times has Klopp ran down the sideline, screaming, shouting, celebrating, and everyone's like, oh, I love it, what a character. Arteta does it, and it's just like celebrating far too much. Everyone piles in when it's Arsenal, and it really fucks me off, because people pay good money to... They work Monday to Friday, okay, 9 to 5. They pay good money to go to the stadium. This counts for all fans.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. All fans, not just Arsenal. They go to the stadium. That's their break. That's their relief. Okay, that's what they want to do, and get away from work, get away and just go and watch some football. They go and win against one of the best teams in the world, and they're getting criticised because them players that are on the pitch, who are wanting to show support and gratitude for them coming along every week, go and celebrate with the fans. Why is that so frowned upon?
I know what you mean. I mean, it's borderline abuse, isn't it, online, for what they're doing?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Odegaard celebrating the win, fine. I do and I don't agree with it, because, yes, celebrate the wins all the time. And like you said, beating Liverpool, and arguably one of the most informed teams in the world at the moment. But it's the league, so it is 3 points. Take your 3 points, celebrate. You've got a game in 3-5 days. So I do partly understand, but at the same time, you've got to celebrate a win, because what is the point of playing if you're going to go, yeah, we've won, right, training tomorrow, see you in the morning.
But who decides on what level of celebration you can do? Do you know what I mean? I just don't get why everyone's piling on for a celebration. Like I said, the Arteta thing. Arteta ran down the sideline exactly like Klopp does.
Yeah.
One's passion and one's taking the piss. How I don't get it. Just let them celebrate. Go and do. You're a pundit. Do your analysis. Don't comment on celebrations. Like, you look at Neville and stuff. They're all ex-players. They understand the passion in the game. They've all celebrated. They've all celebrated wins. Just fucking ignore the celebration. If you don't like it, Carragher, of course he doesn't like it. Yeah. He's just watched his team get absolutely dominated for 90 minutes, and obviously can't hack it. They're celebrating against it. Just fucking look away and go and do your job, and discuss the tactics. Discuss what Arteta did that was so brilliant to be able to beat this fantastic, amazing Liverpool side. Take it as a fucking compliment.
Exactly, and I think a lot of the problem is, from a punditry point of view, I think what you said, like with Carragher, he's watched his team getting beaten. I think the biasness of some of the pundits is just a little bit too much. Like, you think, we watch Gary Neville week in, week out commentating, and
that's waffle.
Man United, they lost 7-0 to Liverpool last year, and he made a thing about how certain players on the pitch have played really well for United. No disrespect, but none of them played well. You don't play well and lose 7-0. No. And I think that was a prime example of how he's over the top biased towards his team. Yeah.
Unfortunately, a great player doesn't make a great pundit. Anyway, Arsenal-Liverpool. It was a fantastic game for Arsenal. Both still in the title race.
Yep.
Very, very much still alive. It's going to be an interesting end of the season. I'd like to run through an Arsenal 11 and a Liverpool 11. Sorry, a combined 11. And it'll be interesting to know your thoughts. I feel like it'll be pretty similar, with just a few tweaks. I've tried not to be biased towards Arsenal.
Yeah, same towards Liverpool.
I've got 6 Arsenal, 5 Liverpool.
I'm 6 Liverpool, 5 Arsenal.
Okay, there we go. So there's 1 or 2 changes then. So what I'll do, I'll run you through my back line, I guess. Let me know if there's any changes from you. So I've gone Alisson in goal.
Same as me.
Nailed on. I've gone Robbo left back.
Yeah.
I've gone Van Dijk and Saliba centre backs.
Yep.
And I've gone Ben White at right back.
Yeah, same as me.
Okay. That's interesting, because I thought that might have been where the difference is. I thought you might have gone Trent.
it was a toss-up, obviously, between Trent and Ben White.
Yeah.
But I've moved Trent forward. I think defensively, Ben White, I think he's been outstanding for you this year.
Yeah.
I think if I watched him last year, he wouldn't have been in there for me.
Okay.
Because I didn't think that, compared to other right-backs in the league, I thought there was quite a few better. And I think at the time, yeah, Trent had a bit of an off year last year, but he was still pumping in assists. He popped up with quite a few goals, which for a right back is really good. But this year, Ben White seems, in my opinion, to have stepped it up a level. And he's arguably one of the first names on your team sheet now, I think.
He never gets his flowers, mate. No one ever gives him credit. He's always consistently an 8 out of 10 at least. And he's pocketed midfielders like Diaz yesterday. He pocketed Doku when people were saying Doku's the best thing since sliced bread. But yeah, the rest of the three on the back line are pretty locked in. I don't think that's a concern. You mentioned Trent going to the midfield, so
yeah,
you're on the same line as me, I think, as well.
Shall I run through
give me your midfield and let's see if that's the same.
So I went with Trent and Rice.
Yeah.
I went with Rice as a holding midfielder,
yeah,
and Trent just as kind of like that floating player that can go. Almost play as a left centre mid, right centre mid.
Step drift.
His passing is just a joke.
Trent's the best passer in the league behind De Bruyne.
Yeah,
not even close. He's
so
phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's why I've got him. And the thing is as well, you've got, and this is the same with England and what they could do, because Rice is one of the best sixes around. He's one of the only players that can play like lone six to such a high level against any team and do it to a world class standard. We've seen it this year. No one's even questioned his price tag of 105 mil because he's been unreal. Put Rice in that kind of lone six. Let Trent float about, and then who's your?
So the one I went with in front of that is I went with Odegaard.
Yeah,
he's a very good player.
I can't think of a similar player to Odegaard. Well, I can think of a few, and they're very top players who are better in such a small area of space. When you watch him. He'll get the ball and he's in between four players and somehow he wriggles his way out. He's so good in tight pockets of space. But yeah, that's 8 players
all exactly the same.
That are all exactly the same that you said. So my front three then, yours is obviously going to be different to mine.
Yeah.
I've gone with Martinelli on the left.
Okay.
I think maybe he's picking up some form now. He was a little bit quiet at the start of the season, but last year, phenomenal. I've got Saka on the right. I can't put Saka over Salah, because Salah is a fucking demon. But I know that Salah is good enough to play as a striker because he kind of does anyway. He goes from the right, roams in, like kind of free rolls into the middle as well a little bit. So I'm going to go Martinelli left, Saka on the right, Salah through the middle as my team. You can't take Salah out. But at the same, it's one of those things like Salah versus Saka. You've just got to find a way to get both of them in there somehow. Yeah. So I'm guessing you've gone... You've definitely got Nunes in there because you're a sucker for Nunes.
We love Captain Chaos.
Give me your three then.
So, like you said, I went Salah right wing. I went slightly rogue. I actually put Saka at right wing because
I left wing.
Sorry, left wing. Yeah, I put Saka at left wing.
You have 2 right wingers.
Just a bit overload the side. But I couldn't not have him in there. Like you said, he's been unbelievable for England, and I think as a player, I think he, in my opinion, is Arsenal's best player.
100%.
And I don't know if he'd be any good on the left because I know traditionally he plays very similar to Salah with cutting in onto left foot, playing it across the goal. But I wanted them both in there, and I know that Salah basically can't play left wing because he has 0 right foot, and Salah's over Saka because he's just better than Saka at the moment. And
Saka's kind of like, I feel like Salah when he leaves the league is passing the torch to Saka.
Yeah.
Which will probably be in the next couple of years, realistically. But
maybe even summer.
Go in. Saudi, who knows? Yeah. But and I'm guessing that leaves
Captain Chaos up front.
That leaves Captain Chaos for you, Nunes. You fucking love Nunes, don't you?
I do. And do you know what it is? Like everyone knows that he misses chances. Like all strikers do, and he's missed a lot.
Yeah.
I can't sugarcoat that. I think this season everyone slates him, and he's one of the most prolific goal involvement players in the league.
Yeah,
29 goal and assists this year.
Very good.
Which, for a striker who's apparently not performing that well and being a burden on the team is pretty good.
Yeah. I would use Nunes as more of a sub, like 60, because he like yesterday, he petrified me when he came on because he's so unpredictable. powerful, strong, fast, good player, unpredictable player. He's the last thing you want when you've got tired legs on the pitch to come on against, because he is that kind of player. But personally, I'd rather have Salah through the middle. But let us know on socials, guys. Two very similar teams, just two very different attacks. So let us know in the comments who you'd rather have in your attack. All right, then. Well, that is the combined 11 done. Title talk done. Liverpool Arsenal talk done. Let's get into the main event. The main event is, as we said at the start, it's a good one. It's a big one. It's Premier League era greatest goals of all time. Doing our draft pick like usual. We're going to flip Harry and Barry in a minute just to decide who gets that first pick. And then we're going to go through one at a time, picking our goals. Who's going to get the top 5, the best roster. You guys are going to vote Team Neil, Team Sam. Would you like to flip, or would you like me to flip and you
can
call?
Flip.
I'll flip.
Yeah, and I'll
you
call it as you flip it.
Okay?
All right.
Here we go.
Harry.
It's Harry. First pick goes to you. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the main event, you may have noticed that we recently just did a quick wardrobe change. The first episode we've done a wardrobe change on. And the reason that is because we recorded on the Monday. Today's Thursday, the day before the podcast is due to be released. And YouTube hit us with a big fat fucking copyright hammer for showing goals on the back screen here. So what we were going to do is call out our goals. We were going to put the goal on the screen for you guys to be able to see it. Unfortunately, they've put their big old hammer down on us and said, no, you will not be doing that. So here we are on a Thursday, about 11 hours before the episode is due to be released.
Fresh.
And we're going for it again. So wardrobe change. Neil's had a haircut, ready for the occasion. We're good to go. You won the toss. You won Harry or Barry?
Did.
What's your first pick? Let's get into it for the
pick.
second time running.
Second or third? First pick is Papi Cisse against Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's 2012.
Okay.
And the goal itself is just... He actually scores 2 really good goals in the game.
Yeah.
But the second goal is just ridiculous. Like, throw in down left-hand sides. Amiobi just gets his body on it to knock it back. And Cisse's taking this shot from... I couldn't tell you, 20, 25 yards out?
Yeah.
But he's so far on the left-hand side of the pitch that he's hit this on the outside of his boot as well, aiming probably 10, 15 yards left of the goal, and it's looped over check and actually gone in the far right-hand corner of the goal.
I know the goal. I had it in my top 5. It's a silly goal.
Yeah.
I feel like the ball starts closer to the corner flag than it does the left side of the post. It's just such a big loop over Check's head. Check with the helmet as well. It was peak Check with the helmet. So Nick's going to be fuming because he had him in his 5-a-side.
Of course he did.
But it's a great goal. Good first pick.
What have you picked for number 1 then?
Number 1 for me, we're going to go in with Thierry Henry.
Of course.
2000 versus Man United. So it was in the red Dreamcast kit. It was honestly one of my favourite goals of all time. But edge of the box, gets the ball to his feet. He's got a defender right up against, like really tight man marking, and does a chip and instantly spins, volleys it straight into the far right corner over Barthez. Barthez has kind of goes for a half-hearted jump, realizes he has no chance of getting this ball, and just the audacity to go and do it. And this was against this big behemoth Man United team, and back then in 2000, right, you needed something special to beat them, and that goal, we beat them 1-0. So that was the goal that won us the game.
Yeah.
Just an outrageous goal from Henry, one of the best goal scorers, one of my favourite players. Absolutely love him, love the goal. Yeah, it's easy number 1 for me as well.
I think that the fact of the position he's in, it comes into him. He's got his back to goal as well.
Yeah.
And he flicks it up, and I think he's got 2 men, one right behind him, another one next to basically him as well, and another one coming in. So he's basically got 3 men around him as well.
It's just
and
silly.
The awareness to know where the goal is as well is just, it's a bit of a joke of a goal,
really.
Really.
Celebration as well, where he runs away almost to be like, that's what I do. Yeah. Like the celebration's like so cool, so cool. Just like that's what I do. 1-0, we'll take it. So locked in, number 1 for me.
Perfect. Well, you going from one of your favourite players leads me on to one of my favourite players.
Gerrard.
Yeah, Steven Gerrard's his goal against Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And I want to say it was 2005.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's over 30 yards out.
It's
like,
a silly distance.
And you shouldn't expect to score from there.
No.
But his ball's come over from the left back, and it might be Risa, and pinged a long ball, and he's just taken one touch, popped it in front of him. It takes a bounce, hits on a half volley, and as soon as it leaves his foot, it is postage stamp top left hand corner.
Yeah.
Like, keeper's dived and had plenty of time to see it and still can't get there. Like,
yeah.
It's a very specific goal to, like, you ask any Liverpool fan, they will remember that goal.
Yeah.
And because it was standard Gerrard, he'd do it game in, game out for us.
Long shots were incredible. And I think the thing that was most impressive about the video when we put it up there was it was just pure nostalgia in one video, right? A Gerrard long shot when he was in his at his peak with the total 90 ball and the Adidas Predator boots.
Black
it was
and red.
just honestly just watching that goal back was like pure football perfection for anyone like our age, like any 30 somethings for the young 30s. You're just in heaven there, just seeing that goal.
So yeah, quite an easy number 2 for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So what we looking at for you?
Next up for me, I'm gonna go with there was 2 overheads. I think there's been 2 ridiculous overheads in history. One very recently, Garnacho. One back in 2011, which was Wayne Rooney.
Of course.
And I'm going to go with the Wayne Rooney one, okay? And reason being is it just to tell you the goal. See, it's a whipped ball by Nani. It looks like a little deflection off someone, maybe Zabaleta. A little whipped ball, and it just holds up in the air for a little bit and drops down. Rooney overhead hits like his ankle. It's not even like pure lace. I think it's like almost an ankle, but the power to just fly into top right corner is disgraceful. It was a 2-1 win as well, so that was the winning goal. That was the second goal in the game, for United. To go and win a game in that fashion against your closest, your local rivals, it's just disrespectful. And for that reason, I love it. I mean, Rooney was a fantastic player. Didn't go for the Garnacho one because, first of all, I don't really like him, and second of all, maybe a bit of recency bias. Still a fantastic goal, but I just think the occasion Rooney did it on in that huge game to win the game against their local rivals was just outrageous. Physicality.
I think the height that he jumps as well, people underestimate, because everyone talks about Ronaldo, how high he jumps and stuff. You've got to think Rooney's like body is level with people's head.
Yeah, he's a little dumpling as well, isn't he? He's not a big guy.
There's nothing wrong with little dumplings.
Locked in for me too. Rooney,
Number
first
2.
City.
Number 3 for me is, I feel like this might be one that I'm stealing from you, potentially, is an Arsenal goal. It's Jack Wilshere against Norwich.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad you didn't steal the other Arsenal goal, but that was in there. Wilshere goal was in there.
It's like prime tiki-taka football.
It's prime Wenger ball.
Yeah, that's to say,
Prime
you could definitely say that. Like I want to say it gets to the edge of the box and Wilshere starts to move himself, gives him the ball, and he runs sort of 20, 30 yards, plays a pass to, I think, Santi Cazorla.
Yeah, so it goes
And
Santi.
You probably know it better than me.
Santi, Wilshere, and I think it goes
back to Wilshere, Giroud.
Yeah, Santi to Wilshere, back to Santi, to Giroud, to Wilshere, to Giroud, to Wilshere.
Goal.
Finish.
Yeah. But it's just perfect one-touch football. They're not even looking where the other player is. And I think the way that it takes out 3, 4, 5 defenders as well in 3 passes, to the point that the actual finish is nothing spectacular.
Finish is standard.
He just passes it into the bottom corner, but the build-up to the goal all the way through is just so clean.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 little side flicks in there as well when it goes Wilshere, Giroud.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just best. The definition of a team goal.
Yeah.
If you were ever looking at like trying to demonstrate. So if you're teaching like kids football or something, and you were like, "This is how you want to play beautiful football," show them that clip, because that is the most beautiful goal.
Yeah.
In terms of just football as a whole, makes you fall in love with football again, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
so
it's a silly goal. Great goal.
Yeah.
Great pick. Great third.
Number 3 for me.
Yeah, it was in there for me. I don't know whether it would have been top 5 because I didn't want to absolutely lace my top 5 with Arsenal. I've got another one. I'm glad you didn't take it. I think the other one's pretty obvious what it's going to be. But yeah, I'm gonna move on to my third now, and it's not an Arsenal goal, but it's a goal against Arsenal. Okay, so this is Essien versus Arsenal in 2006.
Yeah.
And I remember to this day watching that game live. Arsenal versus Chelsea. Arsenal were 1-0 up. We scored a goal from Matthew Flamini. Just leathered it into the left corner. And I don't know, I feel like when you saw the ball rolling across, it was a pass from Lampard. And you saw Essien running onto it. And almost as you were watching it, you're like, he's going to fucking hit that.
Yeah.
And he absolutely leathers it, like outside of the boot. So much power, so much swerve on it. But the thing is, when you watch the video back, it just never looks like it's going to stop rising. It just continues to rise and rise and rise the entire time until it stops in the net. But
it starts about 2 yards outside the post as well, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, the swerve on it is just
like
crazy.
Almost like Roberto Carlos, isn't it? But the other way.
It was one of those goals I was just like, they've just equalised against my team, and I can't even be mad about it. I can't even be mad about it because that goal was just incredible.
Yeah.
Top goal, top player as well. Locked in for 3. Essien versus Arsenal in 2006. Who are you going for your fourth pick?
Number 4. Well, number 4 is a team I probably wouldn't want to pick because nobody likes Man United apart from Man United fans, right? Yeah. But I've gone for David Beckham against Wimbledon. The first day of the season, 1996.
Yeah.
And he spent the summer basically being ridiculed by the media. They're all on his back through whatever's going on. And first game of the season, he popped up. And in his documentary, I don't know if you've watched it.
I haven't, no.
Definitely
I need to. It's on the list to watch, but I just haven't.
But he's talking about the goal, and he picks the ball up. He's at halfway line, and in his mind, he's like, just hit it. And he hits it bang on the halfway line, and it's about inches over the top of the keeper's hands and just an inch below the top of the crossbar. It's so perfectly set out, and he's hit this shot and it's gone in, and he's just turned around and celebrated
Isn't that a celebration where he's just like arms out, just like fucking what, like, you know?
But yeah, locked in number 4.
Good fourth.
David Beckham.
Good fourth. All right, my fourth. I mentioned it a minute ago. It's going to be my second Arsenal entry. Dennis Bergkamp versus Newcastle, 2002. Everything about it is just perfect. It's just the little whip ball across the floor from Pires into Bergkamp's feet. He's got a man right up against the back of him. Left-footed flick across the right side of his body. And then he rotates to the left, round the defender, to then get onto this ball that's had so much curve on his flick that it's gone round the other side. And instead of just tapping it in left foot into the left corner, he then opens his body up and slots it to the right of the keeper at the no angle that was there, and just slots it into the bottom right corner. Just a magician with that goal. It's just I can watch it 100 times over and never get bored of seeing it.
It's one of those crazy goals that you'll probably never see something like that again as well.
Yeah.
So the goals you talked about, halfway line, volleys, this, that and the other, they will come up again.
Yeah.
But a goal like that's just kind of one of a kind, I'd say. And
there's so many elements to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you'll see little flicks and you'll see little crossbody finishes, but you'll never see that
altogether
combination of goal put together again. There's so many elements to it, and it's just so elegant.
And the big... You say about, everyone says, as soon as you say Bergkamp, that's the thought that comes to the head, is that goal.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't remember who it was against until you said, but I remembered the goal because it's just such like an iconic moment, really.
Yeah,
but,
you could just be like, do you remember that Dennis Bergkamp goal? Everyone thinks of that one,
Yeah, and that's a very good, solid pick as well.
Yeah, I figured that again, my two favourite goals in history are the Thierry Henry one and the Dennis Bergkamp one. I didn't want to go back-to-back Arsenal with a 1 and 2 pick. It's a great goal, locked in at 4 for me.
Locked in at 4.
Yeah, happy I got that one. I thought you might have taken that, but you took the Wilshere one.
I did have it in my top. It was in my top 10 that I picked, but I just preferred other goals. As good as it is, I preferred other ones.
Understandable.
But from my number 5, I'm going for a slightly out there goal that people might not remember.
Okay.
But it's equally just ridiculous because of the player it is, the type of goal it is. It's just not what you associate with them. So I've gone for Peter Crouch against Man City. It's 2012, so it's just as Man City was starting to get a little bit better. They just pumped a lot of money in, and they were starting to not be in the Championship, basically.
Yeah.
And there's just a standard Stoke ball, long ball out, up towards Crouch, and it's hit like the back of his shoulder. He has no idea where it's gone. and it's popped forward to the other attacker with him, who's headed it down to him, and he's just first time touched it in the air on the inside of his boot and hit this volley from probably 25 odd yards out on the right hand side, from the right hand side, and played it over Joe Hart. Another goal against Joe Hart.
Old head and shoulders. He's not having a good spell, is he?
He's not. And over Joe Hart in the top left hand corner, and I think we've already said it on every goal, but the audacity to even think of trying it. And everyone associates Peter Crouch with being 6'7", like scored a lot of headers, always tall, etc. But people forget how actually technically good a player he was.
Yeah. We love Crouchy, and a great player. I think he never gets his flowers, never. But he was a good player. Don't get me wrong, he had some absolute shit spells. But
you think he's one of England's most prolific goals to game players?
Yeah, mate, he was so good. He always scored for England, and he always came off the bench half the time to score him. But great player, great goal. The thing that honestly is amazing about his goal, whilst the strike is fantastic, when I watched the goal back when we did it the other day, it's that touch on the inside of the boot. And anyone go and watch the goal, and just the touch on the inside of his boot to just cushion it up perfectly. That for me is the best bit about the whole goal. It's just so satisfying to watch. But obviously the goal's fantastic. But for some bizarre reason, that inside of the boot touch just to lift it into his path for that volley,
it's so calm.
Satisfying to me.
It's so calm as well. Like when he's done that, nobody's thinking he's going to shoot.
No. I think his celebration said that, because his celebration was like, what the fuck
have I just done?
Yeah. But no, it's a good pick, really good pick.
But that's my number 5.
I didn't even think of that one until you mentioned it the other day, and it is a fantastic goal.
Unbelievable.
I'm going with a little bit of a rogue pick for my 5th one as well.
Okay.
And it's Vincent Kompany versus Leicester in 2019. Okay, and captain of Man City. I think the game itself that got them the win. They won 1-0. It was a 70th minute by Kompany, and it put them within one win away from winning the title in 2019. But there's probably better goals out there from strikers. Okay, you could sit and think of probably a dozen just off the top of your head of like striker goals that are like, wow, good goal. However, he's a fucking centre back. He was one of the best centre backs the Premier League has ever seen.
Yeah.
After that goal, he probably questioned his position and his career, because he's like, if I can whack him like that, why the fuck would I not be playing up front? Because that was a rocket.
It was perfect.
Just lined it up about 25 to 30 yards out. He's just lashed it. So much power into the top right corner, curving away from the keeper. It couldn't have got further into that top right corner. And again, it's like I said with the Rooney goal, it's how important that goal was for them. And as the captain, to step up and just absolutely thump that into the top corner was just ridiculous.
What year was it?
It was 2019. It was against Leicester.
So was that the 100-point season as well?
I don't know if that was the same season or not. Statman Ben, if you could get back to us with 2019, was that the 100-point season? Yes or no? That'd be fantastic. But
because arguably it could have almost, I know it wasn't, but it could have been one that helped win the title. I want to say it might have been one of his last years at the club as well, because he left pretty soon afterwards.
Yeah, it might have actually been. But
what a high to leave on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the fact he's a centre-back hitting a shot like that is outrageous. So you expect it from strikers. Well, top strikers, you expect these kind of goals. But from a centre-back...
Just ridiculous.
One of the best centre-backs in the world as well. Just phenomenal. But great technique. So that's locked in at 5. That is drafted done.
Yeah.
Give me your top 5. Run me through your 5.
Top 5. We had Papi Cisse in first goal.
Yeah.
Steven Gerrard for the second.
Yeah.
Jack Wilshere for the third. David Beckham for the fourth.
Yeah.
And Peter Crouch for the fifth. Because we love Crouchy.
It's a solid list.
Let's hear yours
well
then.
Spread as well. Well spread.
Yeah, multiple teams, very different players. I think I've got a good mix.
I think same as mine as well though. So I've gone Thierry Henry versus United. I've gone Rooney versus Man City. I've gone Essien versus Arsenal. I've gone for Bergkamp versus Newcastle, and I've gone for Kompany versus Leicester. So again, a pretty spread across the pitch, spread across the teams pick, but
it's good.
Yeah, mate. So it's a hell of a highlight reel. Again, apologies to the viewers that we couldn't put the goals up on the screen. Thank you, YouTube, for being so kind and doing that to us.
Forcing us to get changed.
Oh, man. Forcing his haircut, forcing us to get changed. It's just a nightmare. But as always, please put your comments down below in YouTube, in Instagram, whatever platform you're on. Team Neil or Team Sam, based on which roster of goals you think is the better roster, and
it's a hard pick.
I have no fucking clue.
It's a hard pick.
It's a ridiculous one, isn't it? So yeah, how was the pod? How was being on this side of the pod for this week?
I feel privileged being able to film it twice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. It's nice to see how it works and be able to give a bit of input. And I've watched since episode 1, so I feel like I know the layout of the pod now.
Yeah, it was good. It was probably easy to prep for, I guess.
Yeah,
because you knew what's coming at each stage, right? So
yeah, 100%. Never always going to be hard to fill strides for shoes.
Yeah,
and especially after last week's episode, where I think I speak for everyone who watched it, that both of you deserve a lot of credit to talk and film and be very open with the situations you've been through.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think that goes, like I said, that everyone will echo that as well. And yeah, just nice to be involved.
Good. Good.
Hopefully we win and come back again.
Well, if Liverpool win the league, you're never coming back on. If Arsenal win the league, you can come back on whenever.
I'll be busy then.
If City win the league, you can come back on and we'll just slag off City about how much money they spent. But yeah, mate, no, thank you again for coming back round to today to record the last bit.
That's right.
Again.
Good.
Thank you, YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done we've wrapped up for the second time now, and we hope you enjoy the episode today. Hope you have a fantastic Friday morning, rest of your Friday. Have a lovely weekend. We don't have a drink to cheers with. We'll go for a little fist bump today, I guess.
So,
you're having a draft.
You're having a draft.